So just a little testimonial, maybe it helps somebody. I had a gas customer just under 2 years ago. And at that time when I enrolled her for gas, she had a really good power rate and she was in a contract. So I just asked her if I could follow up and made a note in my day timer when that electrical contract was up, which was about 2 weeks ago. So I reached out to her and she was very happy to then become my electrical customer, but we got into a bit of a conversation and eventually she asked about what it is I do and how I help people, and that conversation turned into an hour and a half. I didn't show her the presentation or anything. We just talked like just sincere and open to each other. I explained how the business worked a little bit and she was extremely interested. She said, give me a day or two. She messaged back within 2 days and said, yep, I'm going to join this. It sounds great. Want to do business with you. So I was very excited about that. So that part of the story, I thought to myself, maybe I should have mentioned that to her 2 years ago. So we always talk about sharing the information to everybody because you never know. So maybe if I had shared that 2 years ago, she would have been doing this business for 2 years. Maybe it wouldn't have been the right time at that moment. Nonetheless, when I knew I was going to meet her on Sunday to sign her up, I rewatched the how to launch a new IBO training on the app because, to be perfectly honest, I have quite a few IBOs. Not very many of them do too much, and that's probably because I didn't launch them right. And my biggest problem with that was if you watch the launching new IBO training, and we talk about it lots in training, how we have to be just very open, honest, and adamant that this is a business. These are the steps you have to do when you enroll. And if you're not really, that doesn't really go for you, then maybe this business isn't for you. But I've always felt afraid to say it like that because in my mind, I was being forceful or maybe not too polite. But this time, rewatching the training, I said, I've got to follow the system. I've got to do this right. And that's what we did on Sunday when I got on a Zoom, met her. I told her straightforward, basically, this is the system. If you're serious about this, I'm serious. I want to be your partner. If you're adamant about following, the guidelines or the training that I help you with, then maybe this business isn't for you. But you know what? If you take one step, I'll take two. And she signed up. And I told it in a nice way. There was no animosity. She didn't feel anything. She was proud. Actually, she was happy that I was forward and honest with her. So just shows the system works. Don't be afraid to use the words because people really do appreciate, I guess, if you're honest. And she enrolled last Sunday, and by this morning, 5 days, she was customer qualified and she's on her way to her first Zoom bonus. So the system does work. Follow up is important because if I had never made a note and followed up with her, I wouldn't have called her again. And just be honest and straightforward. Thanks.